Hey everybody, this is Kim Danke coming to you live from the Kennesaw Shibby Shop with a classroom full of ladies. Say hey everybody!
Hey!
And who was that? Oh. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to tell you all about Shibboleth and why you should also become a Shibboleth member, just like these ladies in here and just like thousands of people across the United States, okay? So we're going to tell you that. I'm going to help them while we've done it. We've checked journals tonight. They are journaling, they are losing weight, and they are doing a great job. So I'm going to be focusing on them, but I wanted you to be available to hear this as well. So thank you for joining tonight. We really appreciate it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little overview about what Shibboleth is all about. Like y'all don't know what it is, okay? But what's important about hearing this over and over and over again, it helps to solidify why you were doing this. It keeps you focused, it keeps you motivated, and it keeps you learning new things all the time. So, as you know, Shibboleth is a weight loss and wellness ministry. It is a ministry. Travis Martin, whose 50th birthday is today. Happy birthday, Travis!
Happy birthday!
50th birthday today. He runs this as a ministry because he became overweight due to bad habits, things like that. He had to get to a point where it was, I've got to make a decision. I've got to do something different than what I'm doing. He did, and it's been 20 years now that he has been helping other people lose weight, keep it off, and motivate them. I mean, he gives you so much more than what it costs to get into Shibboleth. But it's a ministry, but we do have this little store here, and this little store here, nothing, absolutely nothing that you need to live the Shibboleth lifestyle must be purchased in the store. Absolutely everything you need is just found at the regular grocery store. But the things that we have here in this room, those are the things that we have found over the years make life easy, or maybe it's filling that void that we might miss, like a candy bar. Well, if we like a candy bar, we need to eat a candy bar that's high in protein, low in carbs, and giving us all the nutrients that we need, but still has all the flavor that you want. So that's what this little store is. So it's just kind of a void replacement store. But also, you carry things like Walden Farms products that are calorie free, where in the store you might find Walden's Farms product, but they may be fat-free, they may be sugar-free in the regular grocery store, but they may not be calorie-free. And so ours are calorie-free. So there's the difference. We've looked up and we pull the best of the best in here. But none of this is a requirement. You just need to be a member to access the website and have all of Travis's continuing nutrition education and everything. So I'm going to speak early for those of you that are watching now, tell you what the special is, and I'll recap in the end. But right now, Travis is running a special. It is $59.95 you can either upgrade from your silver level membership to a lifetime membership for that amount, or if you're not a member at all, you can join for that amount. If you wanted to buy a gift for somebody else or buy two for some reason to give away, any reason at all, it's $99.95 and you get 2 lifetime memberships. So that could be an upgrade for you and a gift to somebody else. Any way you want to work it is fine. But www.thelifetimembership.com. All right. So it's a ministry. And you know what? To be the best people that we can be, we really do have to take care of this. I mean, we only get one, right? We only get one. We've got to make sure that we take care of this the absolute best that we can. And what we learn in Shibboleth is we learn some daily habits that we then put into practice. And see, you can see this right here. This website, this is like your hub. Okay, this is your hub. And you come to this each day and you can journal and say what type of day you're having. And one of the things that I say to do is to wake up in the morning and declare your day right then. Just say, hey, I'm having a perfect day today. Go ahead and mark it. This is a behavior modification thing that kind of helps to say, I'm having a perfect day today. Lunchtime comes around and you want to eat that chips and cookie from the Subway, you say, oh, no. I have already marked a perfect day today. I'm going to take those chips and cookie home and have that on a delayed gratification day, which we call a holiday. So you can still take those things home. You can still have them. It's just that you don't want to have it on a perfect day, okay? Because a perfect day is where we're trying to really achieve something. So you mark your day, and that's on here. Every day that you mark on here creates a timing chart, which I love to check my timing chart out daily. And I count and recount all my little holiday dudes to make sure I'm not going over my allowed number, okay? So one of the daily disciplines in Shibboleth is that we want to make sure that we get our water in, okay? Get our water in, at least 64 ounces of water. See, I'm currently working on mine right now. I find that the bigger straw I have, the easier it goes down. So you want to get your water in. We're shooting for a gallon, but minimum is 64 to say you're having a perfect day. Then component number 2 is to journal. So when you journal your foods, it helps you learn the program. It's also a behavior modification thing too. Because when you're writing down your foods and you think, oh, wait a minute, I should not be eating that. It means you're thinking through what you're doing. When you're thinking through what you're doing, it does help you make better decisions. If we're doing things mindlessly, the decisions that we make may not be the best for us. But if we are just, if we're taking the time to carefully write down what we're eating, what we're doing, we're going to have better results. So we journal our foods. We journal our little icons to create that. If you are in, there's 2 modes on Shibboleth. If you are in weight loss mode, you can use up to 6 holidays in a calendar month. Just think about that. All you got to do is give yourself 24 to 25 perfect days in a month. You could have 6 days in a month. And think about this. We don't have 6 actual holidays in a month. I mean, and you get to just do whatever you want to on those other 6 days. But what kind of day, those of you that have been in class before, what do I say not to call this?
Cheat day.
Cheat day. We don't call it a cheat day because for those teachers that are in the room and those teachers that are watching, cheating has a negative connotation to it, and we do not cheat. When we are eating off plan for the day, we're having a holiday. It's a day to use, to celebrate for the purposes that we might need. An actual holiday, a birthday, an anniversary, a work get together, those types of things. But you have that planned out. Once you get into maintenance, you can do up to 12 holidays in a month. But guess what? That's why you see 12 little smiley face dudes up there, because I've had 12 holidays this month. But here's the thing. That's the line in the sand. You don't go over that amount. You do not go over that amount. Wait a minute. Okay, Rhonda, you don't go over the amount.
And you get these cute little
And we have fun. But it's like you have a line in the sand that you're not going to, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So, of course, we learn all sorts of strategies and things like that we can pull out and we can use. But you can do those holidays. Then the third part of Shibboleth is really about eating, okay? It is, you're going to eat in a way that controls insulin. And do you know that when you eat in a way that controls insulin, not only does it help you lose unwanted body fat, what else it does for you is it helps with heart, blood pressure issues. It helps with diabetic issues. It helps with all kinds of other issues. I have heard really some interesting things being healed up by correcting your eating habits. And so we have a shield that we follow, and that one is number 3. The 5 components of the shield is eating in a way that controls insulin. Now, number 4 of the shield is portion control. We all know that we need to control our portions. In fact, when people want to lose weight, isn't that the first thing that you think of? Oh, I need to eat less. Well, it's true because we need to get into a calorie deficit. How many calories are in a pound of fat?
3,500.
She's studying. Listen, yay. She was in class last night. You're going to be on there 8 tonight, right? Okay, good. Okay, I'm holding her accountable. What was that on Facebook today that you said? You said something. What was it?
I forgot. What did I say?
I can't remember, but I really should have put in, y'all, I should have put in this. oh, I hope y'all can hear me okay. What did I say? She put something on Facebook and something about supportive or something like that. I said, oh, I support you having a perfect day on September 1st because she's starting her lifestyle on September 1st. So if I know the information, I'll try to help hold you accountable.
That's good.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So portion control is important. We all know that. I mean, we automatically know, well, I need to eat less. But the reason that we need to eat less is because there's 3,500 calories in a pound of fat. So if we want to lose a pound of fat, which is this, okay, this is 1 pound of fat. If we want to lose one of these, we have to be in a calorie deficit of 3,500 calories. But when we lose one of these, we can supercharge our weight loss by also controlling insulin. Okay, because a lot of times people think they're getting into a calorie deficit, but they're also doing other things that are capturing fat at the same time. It works against each other. So we need to put our portion control and our insulin control measures into play at the same time. So those are the first 4 parts of the shield. Each one of those components must be met in order to say that you have a perfect Shibboleth day. Okay? If you don't meet some component of that, you just call it a holiday and you get right back to a perfect day the next day. And that's one of the things I love about Shibboleth is there's grace built in. Grace built in. So, but number 5, the 5th component of the shield is timing. Timing is there for optimization purposes. We're going to tell you everything that you could, quote, eat in a day, but then we're going to tell you what's good, better, and best of that, and how to space your meals out to give your body that opportunity to digest foods so that you have better results. And I want you to know that if you are just learning Shibboleth, regular Shibboleth is all you need. And on regular Shibboleth, you could do 3 meals, freebies, an extra, and a snack. And even though we are trying to get away from grazing, and if you eat all of that, it pretty much looks like grazing, you still have changed the amounts of those things that you're eating, and you're eating in a way that controls insulin, so therefore you're still going to see really great results. You're still going to see great results. But as you continue to learn and advance in everything that you do, maybe you hear Travis and you get all excited about Travis saying you only need 3 eating episodes a day, and you're like, okay, I'm going to do the best I can. Maybe you do that, but it's good, better, or best. But you still want to live within the guidelines of having a perfect day. It's kind of what I was explaining to you. You just want to live within those guidelines. So we have those 5 things. I personally use those 5 things to filter my decisions through in a day. So let's say that we have I've eaten breakfast about 8 o'clock. Okay, so I've eaten breakfast, and then at 10:30. You know, I'm not planning to eat again until noon. Hey, how are y'all? You can pull chairs in from the hall.
Okay.
Well, they're the roly kinds. So let's say you're planning on eating at noon because you want to give 4 to 6 hours between your meals. But at 10:30, you're really wanting something to eat. You know, oftentimes it's that I need a mental break. But what we've done in the past is we've used mental breaks to eat. Well, we may not necessarily need to eat, so that's become a habit that we can change. Well, one of the things that I do is, if I'm needing that break, I use that shield. Okay, have I had enough water today? I may be in the realization at that point that I hadn't even had 1 bottle. Who's ever done that? It's like mid-morning, you're like, oh my goodness, I hadn't even had 1 bottle. So I'm not really hungry. I'm going to go drink some water. You go in there and you start getting your water down. Do you see how you used the shield to help you make a better decision? Because if we just attract ourselves to habits that we've been in before, and we're doing things mindlessly, not being conscientious about journaling and all that, you can end up making some bad decisions that, again, you're going to have to go like, well, I got to start again tomorrow. But with that being said, let me talk about that. When you discipline your children, do you expect them to correct their behavior right then, or do you expect them to correct their behavior in the morning? Right then. Yes. So just like us, when we realize that, oops, at lunch I had this that wasn't accurate. Don't go, woohoo, that's a fun day now, I get to blow it. I mean, just because, does that not make sense? We expect our children to correct their behavior as soon as we ask them to. I mean, we're pointing it out to them, we're making it obvious. It's just that you have to point these things out to yourself and say, whoops, I'm gonna correct that right now. It's better and easier on your body if you go ahead and correct that, rather than just turn it into a hog trough day. Right. I don't have my little hog trough pig right here. But, so we wanna make sure that we are using that shield to help us make our decisions. But let's talk about component number 3 of that shield. Well, before we get to 3. Number 1, drinking your water. How is that hard? Not really, not really. I mean, you may not be in the habit of doing it, but we got water pulled out right around here. It's not hard, you can do that. So get your water in. That doesn't require any prior preparation, okay, to get water in. Journaling your food, you can do it in the app on your phone, you can do it in your notebook, you can do it however, but you want to journal your food because it helps you hold yourself accountable, and this is called accountability meeting. So that's why I started requiring that. Then you got your combinations, which do take a little bit to figure out so that you can start putting your meals together, but they're not complicated. And then portion control, everybody can do that immediately. Even if you're eating something unapproved, don't go back for seconds, okay? That would help right there. And then timing, just learning not to graze and trying to stop eating way before bedtime if possible. So I also find that when I stop eating before I go to bed, a few hours before I go to bed, I also sleep better too when I'm sleeping. I know. So component number 3 though, of the shield is eating in a way that controls insulin, okay? And when you're learning a new language, you have to learn some terms, right? You have to learn some terms. How many categories of food are there? 7. There's 7 categories of food. Now I'm gonna let y'all say them out loud. What is number 1?
Lean protein.
I love a star student right up here in the front too. Yes, I love it. Y'all just call it out. Number 2,
Fibrous carbs.
Number 3,
Energy carbs.
number 4,
Protein
Plus fat.
plus fat.
yes,
Yeah.
number 5,
Fruit.
number 6,
Superfood.
and number 7.
Shellfish.
Awesome, way to
Yay.
go, that's awesome. Okay, so, and it is important too, I ride my car, when I was first doing it, I'd ride in the car and I would go, number 1, lean protein, number 2, fibrous carb, number 3, energy carb. I wanted them down. It's important enough for you just to have this memorized. And then over time, you're gonna start seeing foods as those numbers too. You'll automatically know it as you continue to learn it. So there are all these different foods made their way into these categories based on how they respond in your body. So, does protein respond the same way in your body? Let's just say chicken breast. Does chicken breast respond in your body the same way as a white potato would? No, you do not get the same response. And so, my husband and I we're going out of town this weekend. We were talking about different foods and everything. And it's going to be holidays for me when I go out of town. But they were saying, do you want a potato with your steak? I said, no, I just cannot unknow that, what happens in your body. I do not want to eat that. No, I cannot do it. So there are certain things that once you learn them, it's hard to unknow them. And once you know the damage that it's doing to your body, you really don't want to do it anymore. So each food has made its way into the category based on how it responds in your body. So your lean proteins, which are your category 1s, and your shellfish, which are your category 7s, they're really the same thing. They're really a lean protein. So you can use them both the same. And then you can eat those by themselves. They don't even have to be combined at all. So if you just want to eat some shrimp, you can eat some shrimp. About 2 to 8 ounces of it, depending. But you don't have to have that combined at all. Now, a fibrous carb, that's where you'll find what are some examples of fibrous carbs, y'all?
Greens.
Greens, broccoli,
Cauliflower.
Shibboleth brown bread.
Shibboleth high protein brown bread, yes. That's a 1 and a 2. Anything else, category 2, fibrous carb, y'all?
Double fiber wheat bread.
double fiber wheat
Asparagus.
bread, which is one of the breads. So if you're listening and not on Shibboleth, we include all foods.
True wellness.
Bran crisp bread, asparagus, yes.
Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts, yeah. So there's this is where you're gonna find all of your really good cruciferous vegetables and things like that. But we have over 60 approved breads or bread type items. And I say bread or bread type items because that also includes tortillas, that includes Joseph's mini pitas, Joseph's lavish bread, all kinds of other things that'll work. It just needs to have enough fiber in it for it to, it needs to have enough fiber in it so that it responds in your body like a green bean does rather than just a regular old bread does. There's the difference with that. Well, here's what the great thing is. You don't have to wonder what to buy in the store. It's in the food library. It's in the food library. So if you wonder now, like, what brands are gonna work for breads, just check out the bread link in the food library and you try them and see which one you like best, and there you go, you're making it. Category 3, energy carb. What are some things that go in that?
Tomatoes, potatoes.
Onion.
Okay.
Onions.
Peas.
Black eyed peas.
But-
Yep, all
yeah,
peas,
all
Greens.
beans.
all your what?
Wasn't it the black beans and stuff? Is
Well,
that
that's a
what it-
superfood.
That's
Corn.
a superfood,
Yeah,
yeah.
corn.
Mhm.
Corn, all your potatoes,
Tomatoes.
tomatoes, yep.
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes, depending on the amount that you're using. You could also use tomatoes and onions, which were said as condiment amounts as well.
Yeah.
But I always just say, if you're using up to 1/4 of a cup of tomatoes or onions or something, that consider it a 3 so that you can make sure you pair it properly. But if you're just having a little slice of it to go on a hamburger or something, you can use that as a condiment. Okay, category 4, protein plus fat. What's in there?
Steak.
Steaks,
Ham.
ham,
Restaurant
some
meats.
categories.
all restaurant meats. Patricia's letting us know there is some lean enough ham to be a lean protein. It just would need to be lean enough. Beef roast, yes. And let's talk about eggs. Eggs
Oh,
are a
eggs,
protein
yeah.
plus fat,
Yeah.
but your egg whites are your
Lean.
lean proteins, your category 1. Then category 5 is fruit. I'm not gonna make y'all say fruit. All fruit is in fruit. And if you don't know what fruit is, we're gonna have to have a longer lesson. But category 6 is super foods. So who can tell me what makes a food qualify to be a superfood?
It has all the 4 micronutrients.
Yeah, look at her. She has been listening. That's awesome. It has all 4 macronutrients in there. Now, if somebody's listening on Facebook and you think, well, aren't there just 3? Meaning, or Kathy right here in class, protein, carbs, and fat, yes, those are the normal ones. But see, you live on planet Shibboleth, okay? And on planet Shibboleth, we consider water a macronutrient. And it's actually your most important macronutrient, and it's a 0-calorie macronutrient. So that's why we always want to get water in first. In fact, in Travis's food pyramid, the base of the pyramid is water. Got to get that water in every single day. And then, so superfood has all 4 macronutrients in there. That's where your darker colored beans are. That's where your avocados are. That's where your nut butters are, your nuts and your seeds and things like that. And then shellfish, I always say it doesn't have to have a shell, okay? All your fish is a category 1 lean protein, but anything that swims funny and lives in the water goes in the shellfish category, okay? It doesn't have to have a shell. So let's say it's an octopus. It doesn't have a shell, it swims in the water, it's a lean protein, we call it shellfish, that category. Now, shellfish got pulled off of category 1 due to what reason? Biblical and medical. Yep. So it's got its own little category. So you need to learn the foods that you like. So you don't have to eat anything on Shibboleth that you don't like. And I'm so thankful for that. You know, that was one of the most freeing things for me, because I was trying to learn all these healthy stuff and everything, which was so important, but it was like, but I don't really like that. I don't like this. And it was hard. This, he said, you don't have to eat anything on Planet Shibboleth you don't like. But your job is to figure out what you do like that are in each of the categories so that you can make the right combination. Now, out of these 7 categories, how many of the categories can you eat alone?
2.
2.
Five. There's five. So there are five categories that you could eat all by themselves. So I'm just going to tell you the two that you cannot. You cannot eat energy carbs by themselves or fruit. That's right. Now fruit eventually can be eaten by itself, but we are talking about the nutritional situation of weight loss. See, we also have another nutritional situation that we look at, maintenance. There are two different nutritional situations. One, you're trying to access and burn stored energy, which is fat. You're trying to access that so that you can burn it off. That's the reason that we don't eat fruit or energy carbs by themselves when you're in weight loss. Once you get into maintenance, you should pair fruit properly, but if you also choose to have a serving of fruit as a snack by itself, once you get into maintenance, you can do that, and it's not gonna affect your, make you gain weight or anything, but you can do that at that point in time. So energy carbs, which are your 3s, and your fruit, which are your 5s, you wanna make sure that you combine properly. I have my brain trained to go ding, 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 ding. I want to eat some lima beans. I know lima beans are an energy carb. I have been taught that these energy carbs bring a little bit more of an insulin release than some other foods. So they bring an insulin release. Therefore, I must do something to regulate that. What you're gonna do to regulate that is you're gonna pair it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. You're gonna pair those together. And this is where I get super excited, because you can make this food respond in your body properly. Okay, so if you want to eat those lima beans, so we use our 2 hands, not spread out like that, but we use our 2 hands as our portion control. You move your thumbs out of the way. You put your fingers, your pointer fingers, put them together just like that. You place your hands down over your food, and as long as you can't see your food sticking out around your hands, then you have portion controlled. But I also like to use my hands as my measurement tools. So if I want some lima beans, if you really wanted to know a cup amount or a portion amount, about 1/4 of a cup. But I'm telling you, I've never measured anything on Shibboleth. I just put the amount on my plate, and if I can't see it, I just go with it. So, but let's just say lima beans about right there, okay? And so I know I need to pair it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So maybe I put my chicken breast under this hand. And you could do 2 to 8 ounces really of that. Ladies should stick around 2 to 6, but have I measured anything? No. So am I sure I've had an 8-ounce chicken breast before? Yes, but I'm not worried about it. But then I also need my fibrous carb. So what else could we put right here to be our fibrous carb?
Green beans, broccoli.
Yep, green beans, broccoli. And so what's happening is you're eating the lima beans. They bring, they spike your blood sugar. They spike your blood sugar. Insulin comes out to regulate and help you regulate that blood sugar. But I always say it's like a dog that you let out in the yard that's like goes out to do its business, but then it sees a squirrel. Oh, yay, let's go this way, let's go this way. So insulin comes out to regulate blood sugar, right? But if you've paired it with fat, it gets distracted and it goes and captures that fat and stores it. So insulin is a growth hormone that stores fat. You know, it also helps regulate blood sugar, but it also stores fat. So we just have to make sure that we combine foods properly. So let's talk about that. Lima beans, blood sugar increase. Insulin came out. We ate it with chicken breast and green beans. The protein in the chicken breast and the fiber in the green beans helped neutralize the insulin release that came from the lima beans. Now, at 1/4 of a cup of lima beans, did you overeat them? No, you didn't overeat them, so you didn't have like massive doses of insulin come out. You had an insulin release. What you ate helped resolve that, and you almost had exercise on a plate. You almost had exercise on a plate, because that the lima beans didn't really exercise on a plate, but it solved your issue. Okay, so that was a properly combined meal. Now, if you want to know what the fastest fat burning combination is, or exercise on a plate, is
One and
yeah,
1 and 2.
1 and 2,
Mhm.
paired with what cooking oil?
MCT.
Man, oh my little student, I'm so proud of you. Look at there, that's awesome.
You got a mascot, you probably can show yourself.
She's doing so good, doing so good. So, the reason we call that exercise on a plate is because the protein is very dense. It's a dense protein, and then you have your fiber and everything from your broccoli or whatever you picked from a category 2, and it's going to take as many calories to burn those things up as were in the items that you ate. And so it's really like exercise on a plate, and I'm so thankful for exercise on a plate. But then you add the MCT oil to it. See, MCT is a medium chain triglyceride, and a medium chain triglyceride has a metabolism building effect. So it's got a heating up effect, and so it helps you burn a few extra calories. With that being said, I don't want you to hear me say, oh, I should take it as a supplement.
Right.
We don't take it as a supplement. We use it for, I say 3 reasons. Cooking in a pot and pan, using for oil when it's called for in a recipe, and making salad dressings with it. So we don't do bulletproof coffee, we don't take it as a supplement, we don't put it in a shake, because we are in the nutritional situation, we're trying to lose weight. If we did those other things, that doesn't help you achieve that goal. So you may hear, and on the bottle it may say, ooh, here are some uses for it. Doesn't mean it's good for the nutritional situation that you're currently in. So you gotta just go with what Shibboleth says. So you put that on there. But MCT oil also has a muscle preserving effect. And one of the absolute most important things you can do while you're losing weight is to preserve your muscles. Okay, so, but everything, if you eat in Shibboleth combinations, you've got all the macronutrients you need in a meal to preserve your muscles, but MCT does have a nice little muscle preserving effect. I picked up an MCT oil today in a little store, and on the back of it, it said 100% MCTs from coconut oil. I just wanted to say 100% medium chain triglycerides, okay? So that's what it should say on there. It shouldn't say from coconut oil, because they took all of it from the coconut oil. That MCT oil back there, if you looked at its ingredients, it's going to say 100% medium chain triglycerides. So you want to make sure it says that. You also want to make sure that you can cook with it, because if it's emulsified, you can't cook with it. And it does have a low smoke point, so if you cook with it, cook on low to medium heat so it doesn't set off your smoke detector. And the fact that I have to tell you that, does that not just tell you that it burns up quickly? It burns up quickly. Okay, so let's talk about fruit. Let's say you want to eat some fruit. About half a cup of fruit, but you need to pair it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. Who can tell me a meal that they eat with fruit? Rhonda.
I have a
I like calling people.
blueberry parfait, hemp, wonderful. It's a half cup of blueberries, 2 tablespoons of that Oikos 3 triple yogurt, and blueberries, yogurt, and 3 tablespoons of hemp flakes.
Hemp flakes, that's right.
You talk about a good breakfast. Wow.
And very filling too.
Very filling.
So Rhonda really likes fruit. She really likes blueberries in particular. So that gets her blueberries, which satisfies that. So get you
It's a
that.
cup of blueberries, actually.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Wow, that's a lot.
I'm pretty sure. I
Yeah.
haven't made it in a couple of weeks, but
Okay.
It is a cup.
it is a cup. Okay.
And then her Oikos 000 yogurt is a lean protein. And then the hemp flakes are actually a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So that little combination gives you a proper combination. One of the ones that I'll say is, let's say I want some strawberries. If I want some strawberries, maybe I make myself an egg white spinach omelet. Your egg whites are the lean protein, the spinach is your fibrous carb, and you can eat half a cup of strawberries. So you're good to go. And I was helping Deidre here come up with how she could eat watermelon. When I informed her it was about half a cup, she was like, "That's only 2 chunks." I said, "Well," we said, "Cut them small, make them fit in there." No, but hey, it's the what it is it's the decisions that you're making to help yourself achieve the results that you want. And but once you get into maintenance, if you want a little extra watermelon, you can have it then, okay? And then the other one that I have my brain trained to go ding, 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 is protein plus fat, all right? Protein plus fat. That's a big one to have your mind go ding, ding, ding. Because although the word fat in that is not a bad word, okay, it's a natural fat. It wasn't a man-made fat, okay, it's a natural fat. The problem is that when fat's in your body, if you have an insulin release, then insulin is going to go collect it. You know, that's why we call insulin the fat bus, because it goes around and it picks that up, you know, so it will collect that fat. So that baked potato and that steak, you just don't put those together, you know. Now you can, on what kind of day?
On a holiday.
On a holiday. On a holiday. So you can still have it, because and that's the type thing that's great. Do we need to be eating steak and baked potato every single day anyway?
Oh, no.
No. You can do it up to 6 days a month. You can, and how many do that now? Really not a whole bunch, you know. So that's like when you go out for Mother's Day, Father's Day, your anniversary, you know, kind of thing that maybe you did in the past. So we're not doing that every day anyway. So it's not like you're being restricted. You're changing the day on which you eat it. That's how you have to think about it. But if you were to eat that, let's talk about at a restaurant specifically. First of all, those potatoes, are they reasonably sized?
No, they're
No.
huge.
They're huge. They're huge. And so you have very large insulin release because blood sugar was spiked. It went out the roof. Insulin came, and it's gonna regulate that. But if you paired it with that filet mignon or even a fattier steak, there's even more fat, it's gonna go and collect that fat and it's gonna store it. So that's why you just don't wanna eat you don't wanna eat protein plus fats with foods that bring more of an insulin release. And there's 3 of those categories. What are they?
Energy carbs.
Energy carbs is one.
Fruit.
Fruit's the other, or another. What's the other one that brings a little bit more of an insulin release? Think about the makeup of those foods. Superfoods, yeah. So for example, a superfood, it has all 4 macronutrients in there, but one of those macronutrients is carbs, and that's where you want to be careful. So we just say don't eat protein plus fats with 3's your energy carbs, 5's your fruit, or 6 your superfoods. But if you wanted a little extra protein with it, and maybe you wanted surf and turf, you can do that. And you can eat protein plus fat by itself.
This might sound crazy.
Go ahead.
What about fried foods?
Well, you're going to want to, if you wanted to fry something up, you'd want to use the right batter, okay, like Carb Quick over there. Carb Quick would be a good one, and you'd want to cook that slow, not like flash fry or anything. You want to cook it slower and maybe some MCT oil.
Okay.
So you can batter things up with the right ingredients.
Okay.
But your traditional fried foods are going to bring an insulin release due to what the batter is.
Okay.
But you could have some fried foods like that on a what?
Holiday.
Yeah, you see, we can have anything we want. It just depends on what day you have it on. So we just want to make sure that we eat in a way that controls that insulin. Now, all these little things in this room, they're picked because they control your insulin. So you know how some people go, what's an extra? What's a snack? Well, you got a little bag of chips over there. These are not like potato chips. These are protein chips. Those are a snack. Or if you just were really feeling chippy that day, you could have 2. We call it a meal replacement. I do that sometimes. It's those days where I just want to sit down and relax and with my feet up in my recliner and feel like it was the old days. And I'll pull out 2 bags of chips and I'll eat them, but I call it a meal replacement. Do you know I'm satisfied after that anyway? I mean, it served its purpose. It gave me the nutrients I need and the enjoyment that I needed. I just changed a product. So a lot of this is really just changing over the brands that you buy and how you eat foods together. Okay, what time is it? Any questions? Any questions from anybody? Cause this is a great time to ask questions. One of the things that I want you to really know is that these are just the daily disciplines that you just need to put into play. That you just put them into play, and you're gonna do it. You're gonna say, I want to do this for myself. Any questions?
I
Like,
just have a comment.
Yeah.
The lady, if you got an air fryer, you can pop that in there and everything tastes like it's fried and it's not really fried.
I want to do that.
Yeah, thank you for that. With the air fryer? Yeah.
And it tastes like
Good
it's
to
fried.
know.
Yeah, I mean, just okra, squash, and you can use the card quick, just wet it, dip it in it, throw it in there. Tastes like it's fried.
I need to get one.
Hoping I can get one for my birthday. This little bird told somebody.
That's awesome.
My daughter said, Mother, don't you go and buy it. Your birthday's coming up and Christmas is coming up.
Well, I'm gonna wrap this up on Facebook real quick, and then we can continue asking questions. If you are watching and you are not a Shibboleth member, we currently have a lifetime membership going on for $59.95. The website is thelifetimemembership.com, and it ends tonight at 11:59 p.m. So we do hope that you join us.